You're listening to Kevin and the Spleen.
No one's gonna ever love me.
1098.5 Radio QWX. So quick.
Bussin', no cap.
No cap.
Really smack you in the ass with flavor. There you go. This show is about depression, anxiety, PTSD, and chronic illness.
We going quick. We're trying to keep you on the path to the ride home on the evening time.
It's a fucking zoo.
Make it Quicks with the Quicks Radio.
White lives do not matter.
Kevin,
Are you stuck? What's going
Kevin,
on?
you
Man?
gotta hide me. I'm trying to hide.
Who are you hiding from?
They installed these flock cameras in my building, Kevin. You hear about
Wait.
these flock cameras?
I have. Are specifically for you?
Yeah. Oh, shit. Fuck. God damn it. What do I do? We got to do the show.
I feel like at this point they already know what you look like. They already know where you are. You might as well just kind of own it.
I'm doing a visual bit for the listeners at home, Kevin. Check out That Happens Stop Pod or whatever. Where do you check us out, Kevin, for the video?
You can check us out on YouTube. Look up That Happens Pod on YouTube or on Spotify or Apple Music or thathappenspod.com. And you could be watching right now the camera on me because I'm talking, but the spleen is hiding from the camera right now.
I sure am, Kevin. You're saying that you can check out That Happens, right? What the fuck is that? Shouldn't it be Kevin and the Spleen?
That there was the original British show that we're based off of was called That Happens, and so we're the American reboot of it.
So I'm the American Spleen, huh?
Yes, it was Sir Spleenington.
Sir Spleenington or Sir Spleenington?
Spleenington.
Sir Spleenington. Yeah, of course. Yes. And we're doing that basically. Do you have the script, Kevin? Do you have your lines?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Oh, blimey, mate. My teeth, mate. But at least we don't get shot in our schools. That's not your line, Kevin. That's not your line.
That's not. I'm sorry. I was not expecting all of that from you. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, blimey.
Everyone give a few pence to Sir Spencer.
I'm sixpence none the richer.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was not prepared for this.
I can hear Kevin's laugh. This is a momentous fucking occasion if I can hear Kevin laughing live in studio. What the hell's going on?
Well, you always know the British shows have the laugh track, so you really got to play it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. You see that bucket, Kevin?
Yeah, I do actually see a bucket behind you. Yes.
You think I can make the shot?
Yes, I do. Do it.
Check us out online if you want to see if I can make or not the shot. And here's the thing, Kevin. We're not going to tell the listening audience if I made it or not. So there you go. I either made it or didn't. And I sure hope I made it because I need that thing that I threw for later.
What did you throw?
Oh, don't worry about it. It's kind of like how do I explain this? You know what an air tag is, Kevin?
Yes.
Well, this is kind of like an air tag, but it fits around your leg, and it's issued to you by the carceral system.
Oh, is that why there's the cameras following you right now?
Wait a second. That actually, okay, now it's all lining up. Right, yes. And that's why we got to get a pardon from Mr. Trump, Kevin. Isn't that right?
I feel like you've earned one. If anybody has, you probably have earned a pardon.
We got some complaints about having long spleen segments at the beginning of every episode because it's just such a grating voice with a kind of mostly the same basic premise every time, And I gotta imagine it's not something I think about very often, but right now I am.
Well, in fairness, probably a good 3/4 of those complaints came from me.
Okay.
So you can just ignore those right now.
Well, I've been sending some complaints myself. Some flaming complaints. some flaming bags of dog complaints, you might say. Have those been getting to you?
Yes, actually, I was wondering who sent those. You could probably take it down a notch. That's a little much.
Yeah, FedEx said you shouldn't light them on fire before you post them. But if they're getting to you, I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know that that's really the best way to communicate with me, but I could tell it was you, and I could tell that it came with love.
You think if I tried stand up and I was like, I got to do some character work, and I just did some spleen stuff, do you think that would go over well? Because how much of this is contextual, you think? I mean, the lore, it keeps deepening, right?
I mean, I would be in the front row laughing on the floor. So
right, you're the only one we know that enjoys this.
I don't know that that's strictly true. I don't, I don't think we would have the listeners that we do if no one enjoyed this.
That's true. That's true. Well, we don't. What listeners do we have? I'm always thinking about that. And in my mind, we have a respectable but not enough listeners.
I mean, we could always use more. I think that you should tell your friends about the show if you think they would enjoy it. I think you should, have everyone sign up for Spencer's Patreon. And just listen to the show. I think that's really what we should be doing, and encouraging everyone we know.
Sir Spleenington is the actor that portrays him. His name is actually Spencer.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It's funny how that all works out.
Yeah, but he's not related to Princess Diana. Then he'd be Spencer, I suppose. I'm bored of this. I'm sick of this. Okay. I'm going to head out.
All right. Well, nice talking to you, man. Bye.
Hey, guys, it's me, Spencer Crittenden, the host we all know and love.
That was a really good, NPR kind of voice you just did right there.
Oh, wow. I think it's because I have residual gravel in my voice from doing the spleen. So it creates this kind of little gravitas, maybe a little bit. Also, there's a fire, and there's a fire, Kevin. There's a fire. There's a warehouse fire in Boyle Heights. They quote unquote put it out, and then it caught fire again, which that also happened in those famous January fires, where they thought they put out the fire and then it caught fire again. Or you could translate that to they didn't put the fire out and then they left while it was still happening. And now they're saying, no, that's not what happened. So who knows? I don't know. The air is full of poison. People talk about the hazardousness of this air, but I think they're kind of hiding it to an extent. I don't know. I don't want to get too conspiratorial, but on the first day, they were like, oh, these chemicals are burning. There's dangerous stuff that's burning. And then now they're like, it's the same fire, but then now they're like, now none of that stuff is burning. It's all fine. And it's like, well, I mean, that sure is convenient. I'm sure you'd want the public to believe that. Yeah, but I don't. It just stopped being toxic. They dug out all the toxic stuff while the fire was, quote, put out, and now it started back up. I don't know. I will say it smells more like regular fire, whereas before it smelled like fucking poison for sure. It just smelled like tumors. But it's bad. One of the things that's weird is that dramatic push. Check us out on the video, folks. There's a lot happening that there's no way. But one of the things that they've been saying recently is there's 85 million tons of food in this warehouse. And now that there's a fire, they had to turn off the refrigeration or it malfunctioned or whatever. So now it's no longer cooling this 85 million pounds of food. And that's going to become a biohazard. And it's like, I mean, the whole fucking building's on fire. And they're like, well, the rats could get in there. It's like the rats are going to go into the fire. Okay. I don't think this biohazard thing, because now the news isn't talking about the poisons being sent into our atmosphere. They're just talking about the possible biohazard of this 85 million pounds of food. And I'm just like, I don't think that's a problem. I think when the fire is out, maybe we could dump all the meat, you know? Hell, throw the meat on the fire, you know? Like, who cares? Like if the food's a problem, we could solve that problem. What really is a problem is that like 9/11 levels of poisons are going into the atmosphere, and people are just one block away, not wearing masks, just filming the firefighters. And it's like, you are dead. Like, you are going to die within the next 10 years because you're standing out here for hours, a block away from this poison fire, a poison factory caught fire, essentially. And you're going to die. And like, I don't know, you're getting a couple videos, you're getting some likes or whatever, but like, you just punched your own death ticket, my man. I don't get it. I actually went out, with a person, and we handed out a bunch of N95 masks to vendors and people who stay outside all day. And they were very happy to receive the masks, and then they didn't put them on. And we were like, no, like this is going to kill you. Like, this is really bad. This is not fire smoke. This is poison air. You know, it's a whole other thing. But you know, whatever, you can't, it's a hard thing to convey, is like, actually, you know, poison can kill you despite not seeming like poison. It could be very bad, but I don't know. I think I'm a little sensitive about airborne illnesses and stuff. So who knows, but I don't know. Karen Bass, I call her Karen Bass. Her name is Karen Bass. Karen Bass. She loves fire. She did this. That's what, you know, I'm not a big fan of Spencer Pratt. He's out of the race. His name is Spencer, though. You got to hand it to him there, right? There's nothing, you can't really say anything bad about that. But you know, he tried to warn us. He's like, she's going to do it again. And yeah, I don't know. It's alarming. There was a similar fire that happened in Washington, and it took 4 weeks to put out, which, I don't know, man. Like, we got to try harder than that, you know? I don't know. I don't think I can handle 4 weeks of this. I got the air filter blowing, blasting, full blast. I don't know. It's crazy. I mean, you know, the January fires I was in Kentucky for, so I skipped those whole fires, and that would have been pretty bad from an air quality standpoint. Think about, everybody's talking about AQI now. That's something we have a lot of numbers for, but AQI, I believe it can tell you the kinds of, like, the amount of particles in the air, and also the sizes and weights of the particles, I think. But it doesn't tell you what those particles are. Now, I think you can make solid scientific guesses based on the sizes and weights of those particles, which again, they can measure, is my understanding. But like, it doesn't tell the whole story. And so if you look at the AQI and it's like, oh, that's like, yeah, this is like bad smoke. It's like, well, no, it's not bad smoke. It's heavy metals. You know, it's a different thing. Like, it's a different category of harm being visited upon your cells. But so does that answer your question? How are you doing?
Yeah, that answered everything I needed to know right now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, things are good here. There's no smoke. It's just raining. It's unusual talking to you at this time of day. I know to the people listening, this seems no different, but like, we're doing this 2 hours earlier than I think we ever have done this before. Mm-hmm. It's weird talking to you when there's light outside.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought it would be like a really easy thing to do, but I don't know. I think it's changing a lot more than I could have expected. But if you're watching this live, I'm going to do a Twitch stream. I think they're called Steel City Games, Steel City Seth, and Steel City Brad. We're going to be playing Commander on Twitch. And so I needed to move the schedule around. We probably could have done it better if I talked to you like weeks ago when I knew it was going to happen, but I was like, it'll be fine. And I mean, I guess it's fine. You know,
it is fine. Yeah. No, this is very flexible. We can do the show whenever it works.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. I love the show. I love doing the show. I love seeing Kevin. I love talking to Kevin. I miss Kevin, and it's time to talk to him for the rest of the show. So
okay. All right.
So we're going to get into our segment where we talk to Kevin for the rest of the show. That's called Talking with Kevin. Is that a good segment?
It is. It is. Yeah. I love talking to you. I miss us being in the same room doing this. Like, I know it's been a few
Hmm.
months since we've done that, but I kind of miss that now.
Yeah, we got to bring it back. We got to bring it back. You know what they're bringing back, Kevin? They're bringing back chicken Caesar wraps. You know about this? You hear about this?
I haven't seen a lot of Caesar wraps lately. I have.
Yeah, I was at the Doghouse, which is a great restaurant. I think it's kind of local, but I don't know how far they've expanded. But they're really cool, and they have hot dogs. I really like their burgers. I think their burgers are fantastic. Their hot dogs are great or whatever, but like I think a really great burger is a higher premium than a really great hot dog. I think like it's fine with a shitty hot dog that can be delicious, but a shitty burger is kind of more disappointing. But I was at Doghouse. I was gonna get a burger, and then I saw they had a teriyaki chicken Caesar wrap, and I was like, well, that's interesting. But I should have known when I looked at the ingredients, and it was a teriyaki chicken Caesar wrap that did not have Caesar dressing. Instead, it had miso ranch, which is a condiment they put on their chicken sandwiches. And it's not very good then. Even on the chicken sandwiches, it's not very good, but it's certainly not Caesar dressing. It's kind of to the point of if you don't have Caesar dressing, you don't have to offer a Caesar wrap. Like, it's fine. They just leave, knock it off. But I don't know. I was foolish and I got it. It was really bad. It's probably one of the worst things I've had from Doghouse in my life, which is a bummer because Doghouse is awesome. But they have these like fried chicken nuggets that are like chopped up, and the breading kind of fell off and sogged up because it was in the sandwich or the wrap. Very little lettuce and just like regular iceberg lettuce without much else. It had the miso ranch, of course, the teriyaki sauce, which the teriyaki sauce did not taste like teriyaki. I mean, there's a lot of variations on teriyaki or whatever, but didn't taste like teriyaki sauce. And then it had croutons, which the croutons were straight up deep fried bread that was still like dripping oil. So you have greasy, soggy fried chicken, incredibly heavy croutons, a smattering of lettuce, weird teriyaki flavor, and miso ranch horse shit. And needless to say, it did not come together well. And I was really disappointed. I felt fucking sick after I ate it. And I was like, damn, that sucks. And then I saw a 7-Eleven. They start selling the chicken Caesar wraps. And I'm like, well, it can't be worse than what I just had. So I got a 7-Eleven chicken Caesar wrap. And man, it's a bit cheap, but it's fucking good. It really, I'm like, I've had like 5 of them since then. They're really good. And yeah, check out the 7-Eleven chicken Caesar wrap. They're like $7, but you can get like a deal where they're $4. And I wouldn't pay $7 for one, but $4 not too bad. So that was the first indignity I've suffered. This is my new segment, the indignities I've suffered. I don't know. You have any thoughts on that before I keep steamrolling?
Uh, no. I know we were just talking about this before the show, but I went to this new Mexican restaurant that just opened on the way here, and they gave I ordered a rice and bean bowl, kind of like a burrito bowl, and the beans were not fully cooked, and it has so upset my stomach now. I don't know how you can open a restaurant and not know how to cook beans,
Yeah.
but they were
Very
like,
basic dish, beans.
yeah, they were like hard almost, like there was some bite to them, like almost not quite a crunch, but like you knew when you were getting a bean. And I don't think beans should have that fortitude to them.
Yeah. And another thing about beans, Kevin, I guess it costs more money in an industry where the margins are razor thin. But if you can't successfully cook a bean, I got good news. They sell canned beans that come pre-cooked.
You would think it like kind of like a fast service restaurant, you would want speedy beans too. Like you wouldn't want beans that require hours of cook time because they obviously didn't spend that. So yeah, I would pay a few more cents for canned beans.
Yeah. And what's crazy is the name of the restaurant was Speedy Beans.
Yeah, I mean, they really doubled down on that idea, but just didn't execute on it. Yeah.
We got the fast cooked beans correctly. Emphasis on fast. We're still working out the cooked part.
Yes, yes. I mean, I will admit they were very quick. I ordered it and the food was just there. So
Wow.
that maybe should have been my first warning.
Yeah, that's something though. Imagine just biting into dry beans, a taco full of like a burrito full of dried beans. You're like, what the? You just beans dump out of your mouth. You're like, you take a look and then you pour the thing and then just rattle like a dry rattle of beans are pouring out onto the floor. I like that. I'm into that. Kevin, have you seen these World Cup social media videos? There's these social media videos that are taking off online that are foreigners coming to America and being blown away by this or that. Have you seen any of this?
I saw the one where there was a Japanese guy who was like almost offended, but then flattered by the fact he went to a Mexican restaurant and they brought him like chips and salsa before he even ordered.
Yeah, can we let me pull that up? Because he wrote a tweet, uh, chips salsa, and honestly, the tweet the way it's written. I mean, I don't know. I'm off Twitter. This guy's verified. He has a cartoon avatar. To me, this honestly reads like something that could be fake. So I don't know. This might be fake. This image this guy has is an AI image. So I don't know. This could be fake. Everybody's talking about this like it's real. I'm gonna say it's fake, but let's pretend it's real. But the tweet is USA, a Mexican restaurant. We had not ordered anything, and the food was already arriving. Chips, salsa. Yeah, this reads like AI, doesn't it? Unrequested, free. I stopped the waiter. We have not earned these. They just come with the table, man. They come with the table. In my land, hospitality is a debt. Every gift creates an obligation. Weighed carefully. This is AI. This has got to be AI. This has got to be fake. Weighed carefully, returned in the proper season with interest of feeling. Here, the gift arrives before you have even proven you can pay for dinner. This is not an appetizer. Yeah, the AI. This is a declaration. We trust you. Eat. I ate with the gravity of I ate with the gravity the moment it deserved, and then I must report this calmly. The basket emptied, and a new one appeared. Did we? Refill, the waiter said. It's bottomless. Bottomless. They have wells of salsa. The supply lines of this nation are beyond anything my ancestors imagined. My friend warned me. Don't fill up on chips, dude. Too late. I had accepted 3 baskets. Honor demanded each one be finished. An unfinished gift is an insult. By the time my actual food arrived, I was a ruined man. I was not hungry. I was not comfortable. I had been defeated by a courtesy. Generosity that arrives before the request cannot be repaid. It can only be survived. I know the rule now. I have made my peace with the basket. 1 basket. 2 at most. Who am I deceiving? There is no number of baskets I would refuse. The trust of a nation is in that salsa, and I intend to honor all of it. Gotta be fake, I guess. I think really the second page, I don't know. But still really cool. But that's the guy. But also there's just been videos that seem real. I don't know. The one I saw is there's like a Fox News reporter, or not Fox, like local Fox station reporter who is trying to interview a Japanese guy. And the Japanese guy is like, I do not speak English, but I am excited. And it was just fun. But you're seeing people, they're eating Popeye's chicken, they're eating ranch dressing, they're eating all sorts of stuff. They're having a great time. And I don't know, man. I guess this kind of undercuts my argument because I think that guy was AI. So it's like, I wonder how much of this is real or whatever. But I don't know. Like, I think obviously leftists love America. It's not like we hate everything about it. But you know, it's hard to like disentangle all of our atrocity and horror from like what's cool about America. And you know, obviously like capitalism creates excess and stuff, but also some of that is just our culture. It's some of like, it's who we are. It's how we like to present in the world. It's what we come to expect. And I don't know, something about it just like really makes me feel good and positive a little bit, because it's like everybody sees us as these giant fucking asshole bully Nazis that are killing people and destroying the world. And we are. That's basically our whole deal. But then they come here and they say like all these people are so nice, they're so generous. They have such amazing food and it's so interesting. I saw another video of someone who's just like a Scottish person in Scotland, and they just rolled up on someone who is an American. They were just tailgating in Scotland, and I guess tailgating is not something to do with Scotland. So they were just like, "Hey, you want some beer? You want some dogs?" And they just like handed them some free food, and they're like, "This is great. We hung out all day or whatever." And it's like that is part of America, It's the part of America that's been lost because of the fucking Nazis. Because these people, they come from fear and hate, and it puts up walls. It breaks us apart into like, these fractured, groups and stuff. But like that's not what the people are. The people are generous and fat, and they eat a lot of food, and aren't you going to finish that, and can we bring you something else, like abundance is like part of what we're trying, like what we are. And I don't know, it just made me feel like there is a lot to be proud of here in our culture, in our people, and it has nothing to do with all the bad stuff. I mean, it probably has more to do with the bad stuff than I can think of right now, but like we can cut that out of us and still exist. It wouldn't kill the soul of our nation to excise that. And like, that's cool. It's like, there is still something to be happy about and proud of, because like, honestly, if there isn't, then we probably should just stop. We probably should just end this. I don't know. Oh, here's a pitch. Let's all move somewhere else. Everyone in America, abandon America. And then like, that could be the new Israel. Then they have all this land. They have no, like, what's their complaint, Well, it's like, where are they going to bomb? Like, it's like, no, you got the whole country. You could just stay in the real middle and no one will even come on the shore, You don't have to worry about it. You got all this space. You don't have to worry about your borders or anything, That's my pitch. And that's, and so that's, I'm here to you. I'm here before you sharks with this pitch called Esmeralda. That's the episode title. Figure out how to spell it, Kevin, because it's not my job. But I don't know. So you haven't seen any of that stuff, but you did see the tweet or whatever. That's maybe AI. Is probably AI, I guess. But I don't know. The World Cup hitting you at all? Anyone talking about World Cup at school, at work?
No, actually, nobody seems that interested in the World Cup, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. But we have. I know somebody else I worked with said that there have been a lot of tourists downtown, and everyone seems to be really like people who would not normally come to the U.S. are coming to the U.S.
Yeah,
and enjoying it. It's almost like we are a welcoming people that just has a very loud minority that scares everybody off.
Yeah, and the thing is, if those fucking Nazis like are calm and happy, they're nice too. That doesn't make it okay, but it's like, that's not even their natural state. They have to be like bent out of shape to be that way. Or the people that can't turn that off, it's because they're so broken and destroyed, by abuse and Nazi shit. Like, it's not the natural state, I don't think. I generally think, we kind of want to get along. I mean, obviously we notice differences in each other, but the fact that like, that's not a problem until like, culture teaches you it's a problem, I don't know, something about it. It's cool. I don't know. I expected, and who knows how much fucking stuff is being suppressed. Now that I think about it, I'm sure most of it's just being suppressed by the Nazi media, but like, I expected a lot more like ice sweeps and stuff. Like they would be taking like players off the field to put them in like Guantanamo or whatever. And it doesn't seem like that's happening. I think some shitty stuff was happening with Iran, where Iran like couldn't stay in California. They had to like go back to Mexico to like stay overnight because they weren't allowed to stay here. So I'm sure that is happening and it's being suppressed. I'm talking myself out of it. I guess we suck. I don't know. Okay. But okay. You know about James Dean, Kevin, the guy that died in the car crash?
Yes. Oh, that's a big jump. Yes, I know who James Dean is.
But he did die in a car crash, right?
I believe so, yes.
Oh, it's a jump of subjects. No, this is completely related. Let me walk you
Yeah.
through it.
Okay, all right.
No. I've been thinking lately, Kevin, that I think part of how we went wrong as a nation is that we've started to forget about James Dean, Kevin. And now we don't care about James Dean. Now all we care about is shame's mean.
I love how you just let that hang for gravity there.
Now all you care about is shame's mean, Kevin.
Okay. Could you elaborate on that a little bit, please?
The double dip. No, I won't be elaborating that, I'm afraid. I will instead be moving on. There's people online, they're talking about how in New Jersey they call a cheese pizza, they call it a plain pizza. Have you heard about this? Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
I mean, I've vaguely heard of this, not anything recently, but I've heard of this idea, yes.
Yeah. But, so it's something that they argue with people about, and people are like, that's wrong. And they're like, you're wrong, And, but I think, sometimes when you're wrong about something, you kind of like dig your heels in and, you get adamant and you're like, I'm gonna go even further now, But I found out that apparently it's gotten so bad in New Jersey, they call a quesadilla, they call it a plain taco, Kevin. They call it a plain taco.
Oh,
that's not what that is.
That is very plain. I mean, yes.
It's crazy. I was actually in New Jersey just the other week, actually. I forgot to tell you about it, but I was in New Jersey recently. I go to like a Denny's and I order a grilled cheese sandwich. They say, "Oh, you mean a grilled plain sandwich?"
Okay. All right.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, it is New Jersey. It's like, I don't know. I can't figure those guys out, Kevin.
It's the Jersey Shore, I think.
I don't know if you could tell, but I went to a stand-up show recently. I went to an open mic. No. I did go to an open mic. I was supporting a friend. Yeah, it was fun. It's I don't know. Comedy's hard, folks. Let's keep it going for your next guest. I don't know. Comedy's cool. Here's the thing that I had the thought I was like, I could do some stand-up. And then I was like, okay, so let's get 5 minutes and then do like an open mic. And then what? And then you just keep doing that the rest of your life? No way. So it's like, okay, so you're not doing it forever. So what? You do it for a couple months and then you stop? That's stupid. I'm going to write all this comedy just to give up in a couple months? Come on. Are you kidding me? No way. So that's the end of my comedy career, I guess.
It kind of feels like maybe you just don't want a career in comedy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm finding, actually, is that, I don't know. I've stalled out on game design. I think I got to get back into it, but it's just like when I'm writing scripts and stuff, I hit this point where I'm like, I'm doing this alone. And eventually I'm sure I could show it to someone else. And then they'll give me notes or whatever. And then I'll go back to doing it alone. And that sucks. And then I was doing the game thing and I was working with my friend Nolan. And then, he's been busy and stuff. And then I'm like, now I'm just doing this alone. And I'm like, I don't know if you remember my rant from a while back, I guess 2 episodes ago. But I'm like, I am sick of fucking being alone. I'm sick of doing shit alone. I'm sick of it. I can't fucking stand it. I don't know if you recall, I was saying stuff like that on the episode. But I don't want to do this stuff alone either. Like, if that's the thing, if that's like if that's comedy, I have to do it alone. I don't want to do that. If writing is I have to do it alone, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do, like, I would rather do something meant to be done alone, or do something that's like designed to do with other people. And I'd rather, like, if that's not entertainment or whatever, I would rather not do entertainment and just do something with other people. Now, one of the things I really liked about working in television was that you're part of a crew and you're not doing it alone. You're doing it with a big group of people that you can talk to and talk through stuff with. And I really like that. But I don't want to do stuff alone. It sucks. But then it sucks working with other people too. So I don't know. Maybe I'm changing my mind again. I don't know, man. You struggle with that at all?
Yes. Like I decide to do things alone and then I wish I was doing it with somebody else. And then sometimes when I'm doing stuff with like a group of people, I'm just like, God, I just want to go home. Like before we've even started, I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have a tremendous capacity for being social. Um, and once it's gone, there's just no getting it back for that entire day.
Hmm.
So once I've hit my limit, I'm just done and miserable. So I tend to err on the side of just doing stuff alone because that's the least uncomfortable. I would rather be alone and kind of wish I was with somebody else than the other way around. So I think that's much harder.
Yeah. Yeah. It sucks, man. I don't know. Maybe the thing about doing stuff with other people and the problems there is I think if I was better at conflict resolution, I could handle that. But because I'm not good at that, I just kind of let things fester. And then when that feels strong enough, I'm like, well, let me bail. And that's not healthy. And that's more me. But yeah, I don't want to be alone anymore. I hate it. I I don't know. I had a bad week. I'm feeling better now. I think something I've been noticing is I'm bouncing back faster from things that used to like fuck me up for days. Now it's like after one day, I'm getting a lot better, which is really cool. But yeah, I had a rough week. I was supposed to get these magic stuff that I ordered called mood swings. Basically, the main guy who makes Magic made his own game called Mood Swings. And there was recently a Magic convention. And at the Magic convention, all the deliveries of Mood Swings were not ready. So, like, this was supposed to be like this moment for this guy who's so big in Magic to like showcase his new game and demo it and let all these people play it and teach them how to play and let them loose and they're playing the game. And they didn't have any of the product. It didn't get there because Magic has been doing this thing called Secret Lair, which is like set like instead of having these big print runs of established sets, they do these smaller runs that are direct marketed to customers. And it's just been nonstop failure after failure, just like people getting so pissed off about like everything they're doing there. And like just like they're so bad that they even made their own lead Magic designer look like a fucking jackass because they can't get their shit together. And so these people, they sent me, and I don't know whose fault it is because they sent me the package through UPS, but UPS handed it off to USPS. And somewhere in that thing, they changed my name to my apartment number. So the address says apartment number, address, apartment number, the rest of the address, and no name. And I think maybe that's why it didn't get delivered because the address was wrong. But I don't know who did it wrong because I'll tell you this, I provided the right address. When they gave me the confirmation email, they gave it back to me, the right address. And so somewhere along that line, it got misconstrued or whatever. And so my shit got returned to sender and I didn't know who had it or who's, or what to do about it. But by the time USPS has it and they're returning it to sender, you can't really interfere with that process at all. So I waited, I don't know how long, let's say a month. And now it's going to take like close to another month to get it again. And it's like, it's just because like this whole process that's so fucked and that people have been complaining about is it's just completely fucked. And so I went full Karen mode. I wrote like a really angry fucking email to Wizards of the Coast. And like the start of, I'm not going to read the whole email, but like the start of it is, first of all, let me say that it's ridiculous how hard it is to even get to this form to try and contact customer service. It's shameful how massive companies try to hide from their loyal customers, putting wall after wall of annoyance and obfuscation to even begin to address a concern or error. Why do this? And then I kind of there's one other thing. Oh, I don't know why you did this. I don't know what to do or who to contact. The order email I got from you references support and FAQ, and I quote, support, questions, need backup? Our FAQ has the info you're looking for, but no link to support, no link to the FAQ. How hard would that be to insert a hyperlink? Is this intentional stonewalling? I have to go clicking several layers into your support to even find a single contact form, let alone the right one. Here's a link to your customer service page. Do you see any way to contact customer service on the customer service page? I sure don't. Maybe the customer service page ought to contain a way to contact the customer service. A groundbreaking idea, I'm sure, but you can have that one for free. So that's just a taste of what I was dishing out. And I was very unhappy. Then I found out that Chipotle is testing new crispy chicken, Kevin, at 4 locations across the nation, including one in Tustin, a place that's an hour and a half drive away. And now I'm clever. I'm not going to go drive an hour and a half for nothing. I am going to call the store, Kevin. So I call the store, and you know who picks up?
An employee?
Alan Iverson, our good friend AI, Kevin. AI picks up the phone. What can I get started for you? Can I talk to someone at the restaurant? No, they're not always available to take your call. What can I help you with? I would like to talk to someone at the restaurant. Well, they're not always available to take your call. How can I help you? Well, they're not always available, but are they sometimes available? Would you like to attempt to contact them and then tell me that it didn't work? How can I help you? I don't understand what the fuck you're talking about. And so then I'm like, well, I'm trying to call about the crispy chicken. And they're like, sorry, we can't add crispy chicken because there's no order to add it to, or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm not trying to order, But at this point, I'm like, I got to get to a person, and I'm like, let me talk to a customer service agent. Let me talk to someone at the store. And then they're like, okay, but give me some information. And I'm like, well, I would like to talk to someone at the store. And they're like, well, we need some information. And I'm like, the information is I would like to talk to someone about the store, about the crispy chicken. And they're like, well, we need more information than that. And so I was like, I got poisoned by a burrito and I'm suing the company. They're like, we'll get you someone real quick. So they bring me to customer service. I'm like, hey, I was trying to get in touch with someone at this location because they're doing this crispy chicken promotion. I want to see if they have the crispy chicken. Can you connect me to someone at the store? And they're like, no, we can't do that. But let me pull up the information for you. And I'm like, well, I mean, I think like I could just talk to someone at the store and they'd solve the problem. Like already the amount of time we've spent on the phone, I could have answered my question if I just got a hold of someone in the store. And they were like, and this is a real person now. They're like, well, depending on the hours, sometimes it's rush hour and we can't always get someone on the store. So let me just look. And I'm like, okay, but can you try? Is that something that's possible to do? And they're like, well, I'm just going to look it up. And they're like, yeah, the promotion is still ongoing. It says it's still going. And I was like, okay, yeah, but I have that information too. Like I knew that before I placed this call. And actually what I'm trying to do is talk to a person who works at the store who can look down at the fucking tray and tell me if there's crispy chicken in it. And, and then, eventually they're like, well, let me put you on hold. They talk to someone else. They're like, they only see the same thing I do. So they're going to ask someone else. We've now looped in 4 different teams to clarify this crispy chicken issue. And so I'm like, look, I need you to understand. I live an hour and a half away from this place. It's going to take an hour and a half. I would estimate it's going to cost me $40 in travel time just to get there. And I understand that stock isn't guaranteed. If they're offering crispy chicken, that's no guarantee the tray has crispy chicken in it, right? So it's one thing that it's like, oh, we just sold the last crispy chicken burrito. If that happens, I'm totally fine. I understand. Like you can't make crispy chicken out of nothing. But if I go there and they tell me, yeah, we stopped doing that 2 weeks ago, I am going to hold you responsible for that money because you are telling me that it is still being offered. And I don't think that's true. And they're like, yeah, well, that's what it says. I checked, they said it. I checked, they said it. I checked, they said it. They're all saying it. I think it's fine. And I'm like, I'm going to hold you to that. And then I eventually go, you want to guess what fucking happened, Kevin?
They didn't have any chicken for you.
They sure didn't. And I explained in a much calmer, I'm sure I was pretty calm, honestly. I think like when I was explaining, like, I'm going to hold you accountable, I was pretty stern. But up till that point, I was pretty friendly. I was not friendly to the robot. But I explained what happened, and they're like, yeah, like they started this new AI thing, and the AI never like routes it to our phone. And I was like, okay, but just to be clear, you do have phones, right? Like you have phones that work. And they were like, yeah, we have phones. And I was like, and like, could a customer service agent potentially call that phone and get a hold of someone in the store? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. There's no problem with that. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting because that's not what they told me. And yeah, and so I was pretty friendly to this person because they're a victim. They're as much a victim as I am, in this whole situation. And so I leave empty-handed, and I got a case number when I because I was going to hold them accountable. I was like, I'm getting the case number so I can call back and give them my case number. And so then I call, but now I don't know how to get the hold of the customer service. So now I just call that store again, talk to the AI and go like, AI, the burrito poisoned me. I'm suing. And then they route me to customer service because that's the only way I know how to fucking get to customer service. I forgot the thing. When I first called the AI, I pressed the 0 button like 800 times. So that didn't. I think the AI should know that if you press the 0 button 800 times, they should probably just give up, but also, okay. But since I left empty-handed, I was like, I got to get some food. Stop at 7-Eleven. Got a chicken Caesar wrap. Delicious. And then I stopped by a test kitchen for Taco Bell. And the test kitchen is testing this AI order taking machine at their window. And I'm like, I'm not going through this again. I would like to order 50,000 tacos. We'll get someone for you to take your order. And so I'm like, hi, I'd like the whatever, and that worked fine. That's another thing is, so I get home, I call the thing, and I'm like, I'd like to order 50,000 tacos to the Chipotle. And then Chipotle puts me through to catering. And I was like, hey, I'm actually trying to get to talk to customer service. You're the catering guys. And they're like, yeah, but we can help you out. So like, I explained the situation. They're like, yeah, we're going to need to talk to customer service. So they send me to customer service. I talked to the customer service guy, and the guy was very apologetic, and he's like, and then he's doing the thing that sometimes service reps do, where they take your side and they're like, yeah, those guys were being so crazy, and like the guy starts being like, he's like, yeah, because you talk to those people at the customer service, and it would have been very easy for them to look up the promotion, and look, I had the promotion pulled up right now. It says it started. And I'm like, let me stop you there. They did that. That's not my problem. That's not what's happening. Eventually, we get to a point where they're like, okay, let me talk to my supervisor. We'll see what we can do. Come back. The supervisor has authorized a free drink coupon. And I'm like, I am going to need to talk to your supervisor. And I explained to that guy the whole $40 thing, too. And talk to the supervisor. Now, this guy is straight up rude, straight up combative with me. And so I'm like, and eventually he puts me on hold. He comes back. He's like, I can give you one free entree. I'm like, free entree is not going to cut it. And he's like, I'm sorry, that's the best they can do. And I'm like, okay, hypothetically, if I like found a rat in my burrito, could you do more than a free entree? And he was like, well, it's different from case to case, but in this case, we can only give you a free entree. And I was like, well, that means you can do more than a free entree. And he's like, well, we don't like to talk. You don't want to talk hypotheticals. And I was like, well, no. I need more than one free entree from you. And then this like really sets the guy off. And then eventually he's like, well, if you're not going to accept the deal, then I'm going to consider this issue closed. I'm going to close the case. And I was like, you are not going to close this case. The case is not closed. I am not going to be insulted by it like this. I'm not going to be lied to. And that's the thing. When you're talking to customer service and you're telling them that you're not going to be lied to, fucking shit is real. Dude fucking hangs up on me. Literally hangs up on me. So I call back. And now I have a new angle because now I'm mad. I'm more mad that the guy was being a fucking prick. Because it's like, yeah, it's one thing that you can only do what you can do, but this guy who has the authority to authorize more than a free entree and is being a fucking asshole, like, I'm not going to take that. So now I'm calling back. I talked to the supervisor. He said his name was JC. And I have the case number here. He hung up on the phone. He was very rude. He was lying to me. He was combative. He was being very rude. He started being rude. I was very friendly up to the point where he was rude because I'm trying to get free stuff out of this guy. And I was firm or whatever, but I wasn't even firm to the point where he was like free entree or whatever. But so then I started explaining it to him. They escalate me to a different supervisor. I talked to the supervisor. The supervisor seems pretty on the level. And they're like, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this down. I'm going to pass this up to my management and they're going to give you a call, which could be complete bullshit. I don't know. And I was like, okay, so you're telling me they're going to call me. When can I expect that? And they say within the next week or so. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to hold you to that. Can I get the case number for this case? Because if they don't call me back in a week or so, I'm going to call back and I'm going to say, I have now spent 4 hours on the phone plus like 3 hours of fucking travel time trying to resolve an issue. It's cost you guys $100 in employment just to talk to me. Give me a fucking, give me something. But I didn't say that to them. But I was like, if they don't get back to me, I'm going to call back and say that they lied to me. They said they were going to call me back and they didn't call me back. And I am very unhappy. I have been reasonably patient this whole time. And so she's like, or whatever. And she's like, great, I'm going to give you, she starts reading off the case number. As she's talking, a robot voice interrupts her. I don't know if she can hear the robot voice or not, because sometimes it's just one side can hear what or the other. And the robot says, the total call time has exceeded its maximum. Goodbye. And so it started talking and I was like, there's a robot interrupting you. I can't hear you. And she kind of stops and then the robot hangs up the phone. And so I call back again and I'm like, okay, I've been through this whole saga. Here's my original case number. Here's the situation is that I talked to a supervisor. They were very rude to me. So I called back to complain about that supervisor. And while they were giving me my new case number, I got hung up on by a robot. So A, can you give me the new case number? And B, can you add to the case number that the robot hung up on me and I'm not happy about that? And they said, yeah, sure. They gave me the case number. They put it down. And I was like, can you also put in my file that I was actually really nice and friendly? And they're like, yeah, we'll do that. And I was like, oh, I'm kidding. And I don't know if they did it or not. But then, then I hung up with the call. So that's 2 whole fucking customer service ordeals that I went through. And then I'm like, I really need some dopamine. There's this card. There's these new Marvel cards out right now, Kevin. And there's this one Fantastic Four deck, and it's about Fantastic Four. It has all the Fantastic Four guys. It's got like Herbie the Robot and stuff. It's pretty awesome. And I was like, I'm gonna go get that. It has this card in it that is called the Fantastic Four. It's all the members of the Fantastic Four. It's this really cool card, and I had this like awesome deck idea where it's a walls deck, which I've always wanted to make a walls deck, but I haven't made one for Commander. And the way this Fantastic Four card works is it can give you extra free stuff every time I'm playing certain walls. So I have like this deck that's designed to play a bunch of these certain walls and get a lot of free value off of it. I was like, this is going to be so cool. And I'm going to get the card and I'm going to have the deck and then I can take the card out and replace it. And then I can have that deck and then I can make my own walls deck. And so I got the deck and I bring it home. I'm leafing through the cards and the Fantastic Four is not in the Fantastic Four deck. And so I'm like, what? So I go home, I'm like, I look at the deck list and it's like online and it's like, yeah, it's not listed in the deck list. But like the cards have expansion symbols that say what set they're from. And it's from Marvel Superheroes Commander, which is a set of 4 decks. And the only deck it could have been in is this one, and it's not in there. So I'm like, what the fuck? It's a card from the deck. And so I asked the internet, like, what is happening? And they're like, yeah, they started using that expansion symbol on cards that weren't Commander cards for another purpose. And so I was just like, goddamn. Like at that point, I'm like so deflated that I'm like, most of my energy is left. Like I couldn't really summon too much rage about that. But just like so many L's just so bad. It just sucks. I don't think any of the things I asked for at any point were too much. I might have been wrong here or there, but I made reasonable assumptions. Oh, the other thing that I learned talking to customer service the fourth or fifth time was that if you ask to talk to a restaurant manager, it will connect the call to the restaurant. But if you ask to talk to someone at the restaurant, it doesn't. And if you ask to talk to a manager, it doesn't. Which, even understanding that AI sucks or whatever, that's solvable. That should not be happening. They should know to just connect the fucking call. Anyway, but it's just really bad. Got a bad taste in my mouth. I'm just so mad. I don't know what to do. The Fantastic Four card that I wanted is like a $30 card. I don't want to spend $30 on one card. So I'm just like, there was like so much of my free time this weekend was just like indignities I've suffered, I'm so pissed. It just sucks. But yesterday I was feeling better. Today I was feeling better. And like usually I think this would like follow me for like 3 days plus. And so I bounced back a lot faster, which is kind of cool. I don't know. But Secret Lair sucks. They're assholes. It all comes from like, they just use printers that are other companies. And it's like, at this point, like, just be your own printer. Like, I know that you can't like exploit, Chinese people or whatever, but just fucking take the hit. Like, it'll be fine. Because the counterfeiters, they make a ton of profit counterfeiting magic cards. So certainly you can own a printer and sell cards and make money off of it. It's just the margins or whatever. They'll be messed up. But like if Secret Lair is like some of the Secret Lair releases are like a loss leader and others they make money on, that's fine. Magic makes so much money. Magic makes most of the money that Hasbro makes. Like it'll be fine. I just don't get it. The only answer is like they want us to be pissed off. It's like they invented a shingle of their business that exists to piss their customers off, which is insane. But I don't know. It just sucks. It just sucks, man. I just remember when society cared about James Dean and all society cares about now is Shames Mean.
That was quite the callback. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. You think that's bad? Pussyfoot and Changs, Kevin. Remember?
Yes.
Ugh. I'm just not happy. Let's see. We got time. Well, you have any thoughts? I just talked that whole time. I blacked out. I don't even know what happened.
That was quite the adventure. Like I was going to say we should like harness the power of our listeners to try to find out what the most harmless phrases you can tell the Chipotle AI thing that actually connects you to the store. But it sounds like you actually already found that.
Oh, yeah, no, actually, no, that's not super harmless. The most harmless thing you can say to the AI is, help, I've fallen and broke my chip. Is that funny? Is that good?
That is funny, yes.
Okay, good. But yeah. I just wish, like, it just sucks. It sucks because if the AI didn't suck, I would have got connected to the manager. They would have said we haven't done it in 2 weeks, and none of this would have happened, And that's the thing. Like, that is worth more than an entree. That's like so many cascading layers of failure that unfurled for me. It just sucks. I don't know. What else? Let's see. Okay. I have this weird idea, thought, whatever. I think I've talked before that like one of the things that's like unique about Homo sapiens or humans or whatever is like our capacity to like believe in something and then possessed of that belief to like be more capable. Like one example is like the berserkers, and there are certain native peoples who had similar beliefs where they basically did these rituals to convince themselves that they were invincible, and then they would be able to shrug off a lot of like grievous wounds and still continue to battle. And that fervor freaked out the enemies and made them break rank. And when you break rank in one of those battles, like you almost get slaughtered almost every time. And so being able to break the enemy's foe or the enemy's ranks is like really powerful. But and then there is native people that believe similar things, that they would essentially do rituals and cast spells on them to deflect missiles was the main thing. I think like the idea was we can deflect sling stones and dodge arrows if we cast these spells. And they would battle differently. They would fight differently, possessed of this belief. Now, if they didn't believe that, they would have fought differently. They would have been less effective. And that's a very unique thing about humans, is that we have dreams, we have imaginations, and we use those to propel us forward in ways that other animals don't seem to have, right? And like, that's like one of the things behind religion. It's like with God, all things are possible, right? And it's not like all things are possible, but people like really owe their success or whatever to their religious convictions and beliefs. And then there's other people who like are superstitious and have like a similar thing. But like, I think that like, and then obviously what the placebo effect is like a similar thing too. It's like the power of belief actually has like measurable results, right? And so like, I think there's like a space. Oh, I was going to say that, in Alcoholics Anonymous, a big part of it is putting your faith in something greater than yourself. And I think it's hijacking a similar thing where it's like, if I just have to like be like, you can do it, or you're not trying hard enough, I can't do it. But if I put my faith in something outside of myself, and it doesn't have to be God, they say it can be a cartoon character. But in AA, I think the idea is, it's not putting the pressure on yourself, because a big reason why people are stuck in drug problems is because they beat themselves up so much, and that feels bad. And then, they can't, it's not sustainable. So they do drugs to feel better, and so I think it's kind of like just kind of sidestepping one of the pitfalls that people fall into. But like another way to look at it is like this power of belief actually is tangible. It has benefits, but like, you can't just have insane religions where everyone's like, I believe this, so it's true, and I'm going to walk around living my life that way, and I have religious freedom, and so I'm just going to be an insane person, and you can't tell me I'm insane. Like that seems like it would be harmful to say like, everybody, let's just believe whatever they want. But I feel like there's an opportunity for like a growth of human potential that's like, I watched some episodes of the His Dark Materials series, and they had these ideas of these demons, which are like, it's like a familiar basically, but they call them demons. They're like an extension of your soul or something like that. And like, I had this thought that's like, we should create these, like, imagine like a school, like a wizard school or something, that's like creating these structured belief systems in something outside of yourself. And let's call it an apprentice, or let's call it a familiar for now. I mean, demon seems like it might have some baggage, but let's call it a familiar. And let's have a school that creates kind of like a meditative, structured kind of placebo that it's not real, but we're just going to go with it. Because part of Buddhism and meditation is that too. It's like, you don't have to believe in the idea of nirvana, but just go with it. Just don't question it, and see if you can get further. And people that just go with it, even if they don't believe it, they can just keep going with it and get benefits of meditation. So it's like, let's create this. We're all kind of knowing it's fake or whatever, but we're going to like put our ideals and our beliefs in this kind of power of perception and persuasion and positive thinking. We're going to like project that onto this familiar. And that's what we're going to teach you how to do, is how to like harness this human belief onto this like controllable, manipulatable object that then we can harness to become this like better version of ourselves, this person possessed of a belief that hijacks like this religious tendency of ours and this tendency towards belief, but it's not tied to anything systematic that could snowball into dangerous things, because the way the school would work is it puts guardrails around all that stuff to keep people from doing that. So it stays healthy and it stays like not forcing your ideas on someone else. So then everyone goes around with these like higher powers, kind of like AA, but it's like structured. They call them familiars or whatever. And then you can use that to like possess yourself of a positive belief without having to like make excuses or say, yeah, I know it's crazy or whatever. Or it's like, no, you got to believe me. I talk to God or whatever, like, because there's so much supernatural belief that I think can fit into this box if we didn't have to like explain it. We didn't have to defend it. We didn't have to feel like personally attacked when people don't buy into it. And I think we could probably reap the benefits of that. And I think it could be like a really powerful animating force and motivational force in our life. Like, people, when they're like dying and they're in like really tough survival life or death situations, their mind kind of regresses into this. They start to hear a voice telling them to do something, do stuff, like do what it takes to save themselves. And I'm sure, there's a solid angle that could be a supernatural force that's acting on them. But realistically, it's something that the brain is doing in survival mode to motivate survival when all else is failing. And I just think that's there. It's in our brain. It could probably be accessed and harnessed. And so, like, instead of just letting all the bad people use that to manipulate people, like, we could just do that to ourselves. Like, I don't know. It just seems like it could be like a church or a school or a religion or something like this kind of new age shit that, like, it's just about like summoning a familiar or something. And then what that means is what I'm explaining. But I think that could be like a really powerful thing. I don't know what to do with it, but that's something I've been thinking about lately. I'm like, I wonder how you would pursue that idea. I don't know. Cause placebo is real, and doctors use the placebo to help people. It's not just they use it to prove a medicine doesn't work. There's all sorts of valuable stuff. So it's like, we can do that too. I don't know. You have any thoughts on that?
Wow. I would join your religion right now. I think that is a very charismatic pitch for things that I think make a lot of sense to a lot of people, and I think I don't think all of the damaging things that come from most organized religions need to be there to get the benefits.
Right.
So I think what you're talking about makes a lot of sense, and probably makes too much sense to have a lot of people go for it. But I think that makes more sense than just about anything else I've heard in that area.
Yeah, I think it could be cool. I don't know. So send me an email, thathappenspod@gmail.com. If you're a wannabe cult leader or something who is attracted to this idea, let's work something out. But yeah, I don't know. Just one of my many, I don't know. It's crazy. Like, my mind is crazy, huh? Do other people think about stuff like this? Like, not stuff like this, but I'm always having ideas like this, I feel like normal people, they have a version of this and it sucks and is stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, the ideas that you just rattle off your head are things that I think would take me a lot longer to come up with.
Yeah, I feel like someone should be paying like someone can be benefiting from this. I have to hook up to that person. That's the thing. Like, I don't know, I feel like I talked about wading into politics years ago or something, but it's like, there's gotta be something I can be doing with this. Like right now, it's just like, I'm spinning my wheel. It's not doing anything, but there's gotta be people that can be helped by like all these crazy thoughts I'm constantly having, I don't know. Is that too arrogant? Because like, it is arrogant, but also I feel like with my genius level assessments, I feel like it's not terribly off. It's not like so wrong, I don't know.
I feel like you could start a cult. Like, I think you have that level of charisma and intelligence to start a cult.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, and that's our show. I guess I'll be doing that over the coming weeks. Watch this space. I don't know. But that is our show, Kevin. You can support us by going to patreon.com/thesixler. Give me money. Most of the rewards aren't being offered, but you can join the Pen Pal tier if you're interested. You can join the $100 tier or whatever. But, join the group. You can join the Discord. Check us out at YouTube, youtube.com. Just search That Happens. There's this weird thing where our homepage, maybe I could check on that actually. I could probably fix that. But if you go to the tab of YouTube that says home, it just says empty. But if you click on videos, then it'll take you to our shows. I don't know what the deal is. I think it has to do with the fact that we're technically like a podcast on there or something. It's weird.
YouTube has already said they're going to have that fixed by the end of either this month or next month. They're aware of that problem.
So yeah, it's like a classic glitch.
Yeah, it's that channels that are podcast only, none of our videos show up unless you click one more time. So if you find us and it looks like we have no videos, just click on videos or click on podcasts, and then it all shows up. And YouTube has already said they're going to fix this.
Yeah, you could give us a review. I think we're still on Spotify. I don't know. Check out Chicken Caesar wraps at 7-Eleven. They're pretty good. I don't know how Caesar-y the dressing is, but it's definitely better than the fucking Doghouse one. So, but yeah, we love it when you send us emails, when you rate us, review us, whatever. I've been thinking lately, I feel like I alienated so many of my fans by being a jackass. And I don't know, maybe I'm still a jackass, but I kind of wish I hadn't done that just because I think they would still think I was cool. Well, yeah, if I didn't piss people off, they'd still think I was cool. But I think people would be kind of impressed with where I'm at. Or maybe they'd be like, this is just sad. I don't know. Who knows? But I'm just kind of bummed that like there's a lot of people who like, I don't know. It's not like they're wrong. Like I genuinely have been like a giant asshole a lot. So I'm sure it's not like I don't deserve it. But I don't know. But those are my final thoughts, I guess. You have anything, Kevin? Coming up next?
Nope, just watch us on YouTube and Spotify and anywhere you listen to podcasts, and come to SchrobHomeVideo.com on Sundays and you can watch us live and see other stuff too.
Yeah. You know what? I guess usually when people have crazy ideas like this, that they're like, someone needs to see this. It's like they just write a book. They write like a self-help book. So I guess I could do that.
You should. You should.
Yeah. Just completely untested theory about how to create what amounts to a tulpa, which is very safe to create tulpas. But yeah, well, we like to end the show the same way we do every week. So until next time, man, the combination of the spleen voice and like this airborne pollution, it's like my throat is not in good shape right now. Goodbye.